So this will actually be, I guess, our last like official group chat. I mean, I guess because our group will end this week, and then I'll be opening up the new what is today, Monday? So I'm working on. I was actually working on it before this call. We're going to have a fall theme, which I'm really excited about because I don't know if you've noticed, if you've been in multiple rounds, like I use a lot of the same content over and over. So I am going to have new stuff for the fall, which I'm really excited about. So we'll have a little change up for a couple of months because sometimes it's nice to change things up. So anyway, I will have that group open probably Wednesday or Thursday, and you all can go ahead and I'll post the link in this group for whoever wants to join. So I usually just ask if you want to join the next round, you're more than welcome to. You have to make sure that you're doing workouts or meal plans or something, and you need to be held accountable. Be willing to be held accountable by your success partner. If you want to be in the group and not have one because you feel like you're gonna half-ass it, let me know, so I won't pair you up with someone and you basically launch them out, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about something new and different, just because sometimes that you feel like you're going through the motions and you just have to shake it up a little bit. But anyways, so I wanted to talk about kind of just like a quick check-in with everybody. I don't know how much longer I'll have before the call quits because we only usually have like 40 minutes, I think. But I just wanted to do a check-in. I did want to share some of the results that, like, basically how I've been doing this past week and the results I've been seeing. So I did do like 3 workouts from last week. So I didn't do all 4, but I did 3, so that's better than none. And my nutrition has still been 100% except for one thing, and I'll tell you what that is. So I have noticed that, well, the last time I went to the doctor, I had my labs drawn, and he noticed that my A1C had come back up. Now, I have been grain-free. I have been basically the main thing that I had noticed that could possibly affect my insulin, because if you know with PCOS, we are more likely to be insulin resistant, and probably from different sweeteners, so just artificial sweeteners or whatever. So the last, like couple of weeks, I have been playing around with sweeteners. I have been testing my glucose levels multiple times a day. I have tiny little pricks on all of my little fingers because I'm trying to test what my insulin will do based on like different foods that I'm eating or different things that I'm drinking. And there are some things that have been highly surprising. So some things that are supposedly sugar-free or not cause, like, basically they're good for diabetics or whatever, that have shot my insulin through the roof. So I told Nick, it's like I almost feel like I'm eliminating even more things, but once I figure out how my body reacts to some of these artificial sweeteners or whatever it may be, I will hopefully get my insulin levels back down. Because when I had first quit, or when I first started Beachbody, and I quit a lot of the garbage, like the processed foods, my A1C went down great. I was drinking Shakeology every day. I went off a lot of my medication. But I've noticed over the years, like I have just kind of added in more processed crap, basically a little bit like sugar-free candy, like if it's like little hard candies, because I'm like, oh, they're sugar-free, I can sit here and suck on them all day. No. I've noticed that sorbitol, maltitol, basically any of the etols, except for erythritol, which I'm still testing that one, are a big no-no. So it's even kind of getting to the deeper of things of figuring out what works for me and what doesn't. And so, but I will say on that note, so I had started a cycle of my own like 3 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And it was this month, I believe. I actually and that was just spotting, I will say that. But I actually started another cycle yesterday, but it's an actual like flow. which was really surprising. I had some cramping for a couple of days, and then I started, which is great. So I know that like what I'm doing is right. So just trusting the process. What else was I gonna say? So I've been testing a lot of my glucose levels. The scale has kind of been going back and forth 2 to 3 pounds, and I think a lot of it just now that I know it is bloat. So I'm not too concerned with it. I have like a week and a half left of lift 4. Then I'll do my final measurements and everything. But I can tell like even my face is slimmer. I feel stronger. I have more energy. So overall, I feel good. Oh, and the one thing that I said that I cheated on. So we had a birthday party at my house yesterday, and there was ice cream cake. And I was looking at it, and and I was like, I really want like, and I'm not gonna feel bad for cheating or whatever you want to call yourself, because the 2B mindset has really helped with my mindset. And I was like, I haven't had any sugar, nothing with added sugar, or anything like that, because I've been really trying to get my glucose levels back down. Even like my fasting ones, I've been like testing it throughout the different times. And but I was like, I'm gonna have one. So I actually had like a quarter of a piece of the size of everybody else. I mean, it was very small, and it shot my sugar up to like 128, which is not that high, but compared to, because I've been trying to keep it under the hundreds, like 80s, 90s if possible. Like that was pretty significant for me, because it jumped at least like 30 points. And then in the morning, so that was in the evening. In the morning, I hadn't had anything else after that. My morning fasting glucose was still like 108, which is like not at all. I want it under 100, like just for my personal goals, because that just shows that you have more insulin in your body, which is going to help you keep on hold of fat. So we need to decrease that insulin resistance. So it was definitely like, yep, sugar will do that to me, and my body just doesn't process sugar the same way, that someone isn't insulin resistant. So you all understand that. But so that's kind of like where I've been at, just a lot of experimenting. Life is fine. I'm going, I'm at least sticking with things somewhat. So yeah, I'm excited about fall. Finishing lift 4 and trying to figure out what I want to do next, if I want to do another round or what. So I haven't completely decided. So I'm going to check in with my husband and see what he thinks he wants to do, and then we might decide together or not. So anyway, what about you, Candace?
Oh God, you got to start with me, huh? Well, my week's been horrible. I had a lot of family issues going on this week. I got a sister that may have cervical or uterine cancer, and then I have another sister that is a drug addict and having issues at home with a significant other. I'll put it that way. So I've been off the diet wagon, so to speak. And then with my so it's getting pretty painful to try to keep up with the 80-day obsession. So I took the week off last week, and I'm going to start week 1. No, yeah, week 1 of phase 2. I'm going to start it again tonight. Because I've already finished phase 1 and I feel like I'm okay with it. I've had my break. I can go at it again, and I'm not just going to fall completely off the wagon with it, and say, oh my God, I missed a whole week. Everything's ruined, and let it all go. So I'm determined to finish it one way or another, even if I take a break here or there, I'll get it done. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do next week is just try my best to eat as healthy and as clean as I can, which, sometimes that's not possible with a large family. So, yeah, just as best I can. Where I'm at.
Are you planning on like planning out some of your meals? How about you, Andrea?
Overall, this week's been pretty good, to be completely honest. I mean, I've had some not so great food choices, but for the most part, I've done exceptionally better than I've done in the past.
Good.
I definitely feel like I've done leaps and bounds in reference to working out. I a big motivator for me is, like most people with an Apple Watch, is closing your rings. And I have closed my rings, I think, every day but 1 or maybe 2 days. And so for me, that's a big deal. We've also gotten out, and I've either walked at lunch or over this weekend, my stepson starts baseball tomorrow. So we went out and like played catch with the baseball and everything. I'm about.
Oh, I was going to ask, what is all involved with you closing your rings? Like, what type of goals or milestones do you have?
So basically, with your rings, you have 3 rings. You have a red, a green, and a blue. Your blue ring is that they want you to withstand at least for a minute every hour for 12 hours. Then your green ring is your exercise ring. I don't know if you can change it. I'm sure you can change it. I don't know how, but it's a goal to exercise for at least 30 minutes. And you have different options. So like if you do yoga, you walk. If you just do stretching. I realized the other day, though, that unfortunately, if you put it on outside, like walk, I walked 1.5 miles the other day. For some reason, that setting doesn't go towards your exercise, like your ring. And so I was really upset with that, like highly upset. But I figured out that if I just do like a different setting, like other workout, it will go towards it. So I can still do my walking and it will still count all my steps and everything. And then the red ring is you can set your how many calories you want to burn just by moving. And mine's at like 600 or 700 right now, just for moving. And so that plays a big deal into it. And you get little mini awards, badges when you do so much stuff. Apparently I'm a crazy sleeper because I turned on my exercise in the middle of the night and woke up to over 400 something minutes of like exercise logged, and my 9 out of 12 hours of standing up was logged, and it had me burn over 2,000 something calories. And I was like, well, I don't know what I was doing in my sleep, but
sounds like a wild.
But aside from that,
sounds like
I'm going to start reading Girl Wash Your Face this week as well. I am doing a challenge with a friend because I don't have Beachbody right now. The Fit Girl Guy, 28-day Jumpstart. So me and one of the girls in the PCOS fitness group are going to do that together, and that actually started today. So
fun. So one of the things that, since you are tracking and measuring a lot of your stuff through your fitness app, so one of the things I would like you to do this week, this is kind of a challenge, kind of your homework, is figure out if you can adjust some of your settings and maybe bump it up a little bit. So, because I know you've had it like a week or two now, and if you are, consistently, at least 80-90% of the time getting it, like maybe bump each thing up like by 10%. Is just like a small thing. So if it was 700 calories, it'd be 770. Or if it was, a minute for every hour, it would be like a minute and 10 minutes, or wait, a minute, whatever, a minute and a half, whatever because one of the things that like I have been challenged with like some of my friends that are coaches that we talk about is, when we talk about goals are meant to stretch us. More often than not, they're like, you hitting your goal is awesome, but really like 9 times out of 10, you probably shouldn't hit your goal, because that should be like pinnacle. If you begin hitting that goal, you need to stretch yourself even farther. And does that make sense? Not to make you feel defeated, but saying, all right, if you're continuously hitting that, like at least 3/4 of the time, all right, you need to stretch yourself farther. You can actually do more, because it's usually your mindset holding you back from going even farther, because you're like, oh, I've hit my goal, I'm good. Now it's great. Like, at the end of the day, like, yes, I closed my rings. I totally get that. But, if over like a week or two, if you're hitting those goals consistently, maybe 10%. And that way you're like, that can be daunting and scary, but in a way, like that is a way for you to see progress in little increments that aren't going to seem like they're insurmountable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's in the same way, like with someone drinking water. If someone's like, oh, I'm just not a water drinker. I drink like 20 ounces if I'm lucky. And I'm like, all right, start with 20. You can do that for a week. then bump it up maybe by like 28 and do like an extra cup a week, adding on to that until eventually, because I don't expect someone to jump in this challenge if they're not a water drinker to just bust out 100 ounces every day. Like you're going to basically be waterlogged. Like when you drink so much water, you feel it moving around your stomach and you're going to be nauseous. You're going to be sick. And that's how Amanda Porter was in the beginning. She's like, I'm not a water drinker. I hate drinking water. It makes me nauseous. And now over time, like she's consistently like getting in her water.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how far she's come from just like a month ago. When I don't know if you were in the comments, she was like, I can't, like, I don't know how to drink water. Like, it makes me nauseous. Like,
You're not Amber Porter, right? Amanda Porter?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's funny. When we first started, and we became success partners I think it was a month or two ago when we first became success partners. Because there's like maybe a day or two that we don't go since becoming success partners, like talking. Maybe we've gone maybe 2 or 3 days at most.
Awesome.
But it was so funny when she first started. She was like, yeah, my goal is to drink at least one of these a day. And I was like, no, come on, you can do it. You can do 2 of them. So it's really, it was really funny when she first started. Now to see her be like, all I drank was water today. And I was like, yeah, we switched roles apparently.
But it is like, because everybody will join when they're in different chapters of their journey. And I love when people were able to come back month after month because you do see that progress. And if someone, like if she, pops in, we're like, oh, I hit my water goal, I hit my veggie goal, or I hit this. And you're like, man, she's on it. But if you had seen her a couple months ago, you'd be like, I can't believe she's not like a shriveled up sponge because she didn't drink water. And she didn't drink vegetables, or she didn't eat vegetables either. And she and her, I believe it's her husband, literally ate out every single day. Literally, when they first started. At least 6 days, and usually during the weekend, they would eat out twice. So the fact, I remember getting on one of my first calls with her, the fact of her actually getting in the kitchen and cooking was a pretty big deal. I mean, so we started at square one. And I love it, like, because they have come so far. And that's one of the reasons why I love what I do, is just being able to help someone and just encourage them and share the resources that I have that they may not have known about, or, if that makes sense. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so that's something I would like to challenge you with, is since you've seen like you've been consistently closing your rings and you're doing well, is think about, all right, like, how much do I want to challenge myself with? Do I want to do it, just do 10%, or do I want to do extra 1,000 steps or extra 500 steps? Like, like put it out there to where you think you probably could hit it a few of the times, but your goals aren't, don't beat yourself up if you're not hitting them every day, but also being honest, truth laced with a little bit of grace for yourself, where like, I could have done better today, or I did freaking awesome, but you know what? There's always tomorrow with that. Because those are things you can control. And that's, and I just encourage you all just to focus on the things you can control. You can't control other people. You can't control the weather. You can't control a lot of things in our lives. But the one thing we can control are the choices and the decisions that we make. Whether that's on an emotional level, spiritual level, or just physical level. And I love that you're going to listen to or read Girl Wash Your Face, because I have heard wonderful things about that book, and it's on my list underneath like a few other, like, I'm in the middle of the Champagne Diet. Have both of you read it yet?
I'm picking it up Thursday.
Okay.
I'm going to pick up Girl Wash Your Face too. They should have it at Barnes & Noble.
So the Champagne Diet is the one that I usually recommend to everybody when they first start. And so Kara, I think it's Kara, not Paul. Kara Leba. I always feel weird saying that because I feel like lady, you know what I'm talking about? So anyway, so she's got a couple of books, and I love all of them that I've read, but she just came out with a new one. So I've been reading it, and I feel like a lot of her books now are kind of like the same tone, which is fine. But I shared a video on my wall from Girl Wash Your Face author, If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It is phenomenal. If it doesn't make you want to like go and conquer the world, and basically lay aside any of your fears, then I don't know what does. So, but anyway, I don't know if I've shared it in the group or not. I should probably just share it in the group.
I actually heard about Girl Wash Your Face from another Beachbody coach that I'm friends with. She's not my coach. She had shared it probably 4 months ago. And I looked into it when I had Audible on Amazon, and I listened to like the first like chapter or whatever. They give you the little snippets of it. And I was like, man, I really want to read this. So then I put it on my wish list, and then I just quit with Audible. So I'm going to go buy it. I'm better off reading it.
Yeah, like reading is hard for me, like, because whereas if I'm doing Audible, which I need to do more audiobooks, I can do it while I'm cooking, or I can do it while I'm driving, like, and I don't know. I want to read more. That's one of my big goals, is to read a lot more than what I am currently.
A good one that initially brought me to Girl Wash Your Face is Uninvited. This is actually...
I love that book. I've read that one. There's a Bible study for it too. Do you have the Bible study with it?
My old youth pastor, who I actually lived with for 2 years of high school, sent me, she was really like raving about it, and like randomly was like, well, I'm going to send you a book. It's like, okay, well, she accidentally sent me this instead of the actual book. Then I had to buy the actual book to go with it, obviously. But
oh my gosh. So I went to a conference last year it was in Tennessee, and it was a Christian conference, and she was one of the speakers. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about her, because she is just awesome. Like, just a crazy strong woman. And she was actually leaving the conference, getting on the plane, going home, and having breast cancer, like surgery for her breast cancer the following day. Like, just, I love crazy strong women. They just make me want to be better. But anyways, Uninvited is a good one too. So is there, like, how can I help you all this week? Is it like maybe daily check-ins? Do you want to, I don't know, what would help? Because I know that you both are struggling with different things. So is there something in particular that you think would be like, all right, I think this would probably help me, whether it's recipes or check-ins or, I don't know, motivational videos or.
I think a big thing is, like, not necessarily because I'm horrible at meal prep, so we're not even going to say meal prep, but recipes. Like, I like the different kinds of recipes that you share. I think if we had, like, not to say specifically like you, but in general as the group, like even a day or a post to be like, to share your recipe. Like, hey, if you find something you like, post it here. And that can be something we can reference back and forth with to help us out find stuff. Because like if you're doing 80-day obsession, like you guys have a specific meal plan, or if you're doing this list 4, you guys follow a specific meal plan on that as well sometimes. But then the people like us doing 2B mindset, we can basically kind of have whatever. We can pick and choose stuff that has actual reviews rather than.
I think because with Facebook groups, I want to say that you can now do topics. And I've only played with it a couple of times where you can tag, like put basically a tag on a post. And if you go to that tag, it'll bring up all those posts. So what I can do for the new group is basically share, like, okay, these will be some recipes. Make sure you tag or whatever, put the topic for your recipe, if that makes sense. And that way you could go to that tag and it would bring up all those posts for recipes. And I want to say that if other people don't do it, I can go in and add the tags. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually asking for recipes, because a lot of people don't always just come out like, oh, I've got this recipe and that recipe, but maybe trying to be more intentional, asking for new recipes maybe once a week or so, and putting them on that. So that's a good idea.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. There's times I do not follow the Beachbody container or the 80-day obsession thing. I do my own thing because that's what's worked for me in the past. That's what's made me be me. So I do a lot of clean eating, and I do what I call healthy swaps. I'll like swap out my oils, or swap out my flours, or swap out my meat for a cleaner, leaner meat. I don't really, go for specifics. I just try to eat as clean and as healthy as I can.
And I get that. I, for a long time, talked about how I did cleanish eating. I don't know if you've heard of like the fitish movement. It's like people who want to be like active and fit, or whatever, but they also kind of love cakes and donuts or whatever, and love to be lazy. I totally butchered that. But basically, cleanish eating, where you're clean, but you're not 100% like so like Nazi about it, to where
Right.
if you don't want to add a little bit of whipped topping on there, you know what I mean? Like you can have that on there. And that's fine. Like a lot of the recipes I share, I do try to have just like, the also the container breakdown, just so people can use it and it's easily accessible. But that doesn't mean that you have to follow the recipes verbatim.
Oh, right.
You can definitely.
The container breakdown really helps though. So
Yeah.
I haven't used any of them yet. I haven't had an opportunity to go on a grocery trip. So.
Yes, I'm probably going to get cut off because it says less than a minute. But if there are any other ideas, feel free to post them in the group. I might actually make a post after I hop off here, so I don't forget. Because I love trying to make these groups better each time. So with that, I hope that you all have a great night, and I will get this uploaded here tonight, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.